One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it. Let's talk about another Uber and Lyft competitor. Unfortunately, bites the dust.
Yep.
So
many have come, many have
Yide,
left.
no longer.
Yeah, so I did help Yide quite a bit in their launch, and I do remember my first call with the two gentlemen who founded Yide and got it going. The first question I had asked them was, how many billions of dollars do you have in the bank? And they thought I was kidding, and I was not kidding. This is the problem with all the newcomers. InDrive is a $4 billion global company. They came, they left. I don't know how Rides is doing with Steve Wright, but we do know there's news up from Minnesota, right, on that one. I think Joe's going to do a video about
Joe's
that.
got a video coming out on Saturday about that.
Yeah, for sure.
Rides updates, what's going on there. So
I think Yride's platform was great. Everything was good, except that it is very, 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 very difficult to compete with Uber and Lyft. It's just very difficult. They're established players. They're the incumbents. They're have a duopoly. They will not let you live, especially if you're short on cash. And, you need marketing dollars. The acquisition of the rider when it comes to a new rideshare company is the most expensive part of the business.
Yeah.
Because they've been, Uber and Lyft app is installed already. What is it that you're offering to the rider for them to literally change and get in a Y-Ride car as opposed to be in an Uber or a Lyft car? So they sent this email out. I got a bunch of them because people knew my relationship with Y-Ride. Dear driver partners, it is with deep regret that we share news of Y-Ride will be closing its operations due to funding constraints. There it is in bold letters. Funding. So everybody, Chris, that I hear from say, oh, this is so easy. You just create the app. Yeah, creating the app wasn't the problem.
That's easy. I can
Acquisition of
just
the
have
rider
AI
is the
code it
problem.
now.
Yeah, it's not. So, and Ride did well for about a year. Had about 5,000 riders. 5,000 drivers and about 14,000 riders. But what Uber and Lyft will do, Chris, is that because, as you know, I was also helping InDrive in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So InDrive was about to launch Indianapolis, okay? Which actually they did. They did a soft launch, and then we know they were going to go into New York before they left the country. They had about 7% market share in Miami, so they were coming, right? So as soon as Uber figured out that there is a new competitor, what do you think Uber did, Chris, in Indianapolis? What they did is they lowered the fares to a point that no rider, and they decided we're going to lose money on every single trip like the old days, right?
No. They didn't lose any money. What they did was you take one market that has a potential competitor in it, you lower the prices, and then you raise prices elsewhere, and you offset the cost of a market by subsidizing it from other markets.
Yeah. Well, they do
lose
that.
A penny doing that because they have something else, and that's called scale. They already have scale, so they could literally say, "Oh, we're going to come in, we're going to undercut, we're going to undercut our normal pricing by $5."
Yeah.
It might sound like a lot, but in reality, all they have to do is just raise 100 people's fares just a little bit to offset that problem, and there you go. You stamp it out.
Well, but they have done this in the past, and they did it. They were offering like 10-mile trips for $10. Now, who's going to get in a Y-Ride car, or who's going to get in an InDrive car? Because Y-Ride's setup was the subscription model, literally. And there was not even a split. You just pay a subscription. It's basically rent as you go, right? 100% of the fare was going to the driver, included obviously P1, P2, P3 commercial insurance like Uber's. even that way, we got all the drivers. We had about, this launch in the Bay Area only, we had about close to 5,000 drivers, but riders were just not switching because they don't need to, because they can get picked up with an Uber.
You got to
Although
remember,
Ride was cheaper.
you got to remember though too, household name. You know, we talked about that before. If Uber's
Brand,
cleaner,
brand identity,
it's brand recognition, brand identity, it's very strong. It's been, you know, it's everywhere for the last decade. So when you have something like that, it's very hard to come in and compete against that. Especially
so
when
if you guys,
to
for
rider
sure,
acquisition.
you know, I'm sad to see them fold, but you know, so it is not easy, folks. It is not as easy as you guys think. You know, sometimes I get an email, they go like, why don't you do one, Serge? I'm like, yeah, I could do it. I can get 10,000 drivers. How am I going to get the riders? You know, anyway,
Then I got to go to all the investors and get money in order to try to compete. Then you got to pay for all the fees, and hint, hint, nudge, nudge. That's kind of something that's going on with rides when it comes to fees and what's going on in Minneapolis. So again, that'll be on Saturday coming out, so you'll know all that info. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's not easy.
Nope, it's not. And then so we're sad to see the competitors go, because the marketplace does need competitors. Not just drivers need choices, riders need choices. But then, you know, if you don't have the bucks or the bank account, and you're willing to burn literally put a whole bunch of money on fire, it's not going to work.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.